Okay, that's awesome. So it's go time here. We're going to travel from Lookout Valley. Hello. To the workplace out in Shallowford Road, because I've got to print some flyers out and we're going to have a showing this morning. So one of the things I want you to see is just the ease of the commute from Lookout Valley to Shallowford or East Brainerd area, which is really the center of Hamilton County. That's why the main post office is located out there, because 37421 on Shallowford Road is the geographic center of Hamilton County. So yeah, now you know. It's a gorgeous day, April 26th. It's a Saturday morning, and this is Lookout Valley. This is where I live in Black Creek Mountain, and it's a gorgeous day. Wow, gorgeous day. And on a day like today, I'd probably be taking the top down, but since we're going on the interstate and I've got an appointment, and we're going to keep the top up. But Chattanooga is absolutely one of the most beautiful areas. I'm going to talk to, this is a relocation video, okay? This is like I'm going to speak to the person who is thinking about Chattanooga as a place to live, and you don't know that much about it, and you've heard some things, but you want to know a little bit more about the city. So this is specifically for you coming to thinking about living in Chattanooga. What is it like? One of the things that makes Chattanooga unique over other places in the country is geography. And I'm talking about altitude, and I'm talking about up and down height of, in the road structures. Time and distance are different in Chattanooga and East Tennessee than they are in Kansas or Florida. You know, I get people from the Midwest or from flatter states, and they don't understand, or it's difficult for them to grasp the time that it may take to go from point A to point B. When you're looking at a map and you're thinking about, I want to live there, well, if you were trying to get from, as an example, from Dunlap, Tennessee to Chattanooga, Tennessee, you've got to go over a ridge, Walden's Ridge or Signal Mountain, to get from point A to point B. So it just takes more time. There's smaller roads, curvy roads, and it just takes a lot more time. So the interstate travel, which I'm about to jump on here, or if you're from California, you'd call it a freeway. This is I-24 that I'm about to jump onto. I'm on US 41, by the way. Oh, remember Ramblin' Man? Lord, I was born a rambling man. Born in the back seat of a Greyhound bus traveling down Highway 41. This is Highway 41, and so now what we're jumping onto is on-ramp to I-24, which is running from Nashville to Chattanooga. Okay, and we are literally about 6 minutes from downtown Chattanooga. And that's what I love about where I live right now. Hello, Mr. Mohawk. By the way, Mohawk Industries. It's a carpet industry just in Dalton, which is just south of Chattanooga. And Dalton is the carpet capital of the world, the universe. And Warren Buffett just bought Shaw Carpet down there. And so yeah, there you go. There's a little side story for the business minded. But anyway, we're traveling on I-24 now on a gorgeous day. And it only takes me from this point, now I'm at exit 175, this is Browns Ferry Road, we're crossing over, literally 5 more minutes. Now granted, I am traveling at 74, 30 to 45 minutes realistically from downtown commute travel time. So I want you to keep that in mind. So this was a new construction patch in Hamilton County that we convinced people to come out and try, and it worked. So now we're coming around. This is the Tennessee River, which you really probably can't see. I'll have to check this video out later to see what you really can see in this dashboard cam here, but I may have to mount the GoPro a little bit higher so you can see the actual water there. But we're coming around Moccasin Bend. If you were to be able to spin around and look behind you, that's Lookout Mountain is on our right-hand side over here. And we're rapidly approaching downtown Chattanooga. So, I don't know, you can look at the timer on the video to see how much time it's taken off, but we're approaching the ramp for downtown Chattanooga, so that's literally how much time it took to get from a resort-style golf community and just outside of Chattanooga to downtown. So if you're a doctor, you're working at the 3 major hospitals, it gives you a little idea about how much time it takes to either get to Erlanger, Park Ridge, Memorial. Those are the 3 large hospitals in town here. And I know you'd have a contract if you're a doc, if you're a surgeon, you've got to be within 15 to 30 minutes of the hospital. And so where you live is really important. And that's one of the thought processes of our marketing for Black Creek Mountain. So now I didn't take the exit to downtown, and I'm continuing now, headed out east to around that curve. The camera bent down a little bit. So I'm headed east towards Missionary Ridge right now, and I've got to turn traction control off. I've got my little Saab has got so many little bells and whistles on it, and I bought 2 tires. They happen to be just a little bit bigger, and so my traction sensors cuts on, and it messes with the computer on the car. Anyway, something I forgot to do when I pulled out the garage. So we're headed towards Missionary Ridge. Missionary Ridge is interesting. It's a geographical feature. It's not as tall as the local mountain signal or Lookout Mountain, but it's historic in that the Civil War, there was some movements and it's not really battles necessarily that were fought there on Missionary Ridge, as much as there was movement and there was garrisons and rail traffic and some of the, and I'm not a Civil War buff by any imagination, but there is a federal road that runs across the ridge, and it protects some of the cannons, and they have parks along Missionary Ridge, and there's some beautiful older homes there that were just outside of Chattanooga when they were built in the early 1900s. And the ridge offers views off both sides of the ridge, one towards Chattanooga and one looking away towards Chattanooga. So it offers a unique view perspective that the front of your house and the rear of your home can actually have really nice views. And it's very close to downtown Chattanooga, so it's a favorite for people who like older homes. And it's interesting in the fact that the road that runs along Crest Road, South or North Crest Road, is actually a federal road. It's maintained by the federal government, and the federal park system has little parks with cannons and everything. So that's just a neat part of the history of Chattanooga that you don't get in many of the western states and cities. You've got Civil War history, a lot of it here. Because this was a rail center opening up the south and of course the Chattanooga Choo Choo. And that's not where. Anyway, the song made that famous. Although that's another story. I'm talking about the theft of the Chattanooga Choo Choo, the engine. So anyway, we're coming up. This is now we're cresting what we affectionately call the Ridge Cut. When they built the interstate, this is a really poor piece of engineering. Actually, we cut through the ridge and put 2 zigzag curves in it, and unfortunately, that's the place of too many accidents. They didn't tunnel underneath it. They decided to go over it and put curves to go over it. So stories were that the real estate that they did not purchase was part of that instituted the curves in there. Anyway, so we're headed out towards East Brainerd, and what we're passing by right now is Brainerd, which is off to our left, and East Ridge, which is really off to our right. East Ridge is its own city, has its own tax base, has property taxes, and has its own government and police force. Brainerd is part of Chattanooga. And Hamilton County does have 2 governments. We have a county mayor and a city mayor. We do not have a government that is a metro or combined government. That's another big point of discussion, and always a political hot potato somewhat here in Chattanooga. School systems have been combined. The city school system is now part of the county school system, so it's all one. But the government and the police forces are still separate. This is also, now we're coming up, this is interesting just from a road perspective, so we're talking on the road here. I-24 and I-75 actually come together, and this is what we call the split, I-24-75 split. And this is probably, if you're commercially minded, you've got a business, this is where all the traffic happens. There's over 110,000 car count right here at this split daily. And what you get is all the traffic coming up from I-75 from Atlanta, heading north, and also I-24. And it all merges right in here. Also is a place that my daughter, unfortunately, had totaled her Volvo. It's a lot of cars, a lot of traffic. You can imagine a lot of confusion here. But there's 2 malls that are very close to this intersection right here. It's the Eastgate, the older Eastgate Mall, which you can see right there, now is less retail and more local business. There's also a call center in there and some other businesses. There's a large Walmart that you'll be seeing here shortly. And then we're approaching what is the newer regional mall that has its own exit off the interstate called Hamilton Place. It's around Hamilton Place in East Brainerd is another really energy centered area. It's where a lot of retail and a lot of commerce is happening. There's really 2 happening places in Hamilton County or in Chattanooga. One is around Hamilton Place and there's regional mall up here. The other is downtown Chattanooga, and all the rebirth that's happening in downtown are centered around the Tennessee Aquarium, IMAX Theater, the Children's Museum, and the Regional History Museum. All the things that a tourist would be attracted to really are centered downtown, or the incline going up Lookout Mountain and seeing if you're a history buff, you would like to see the Chickamauga National Battlefield. All that is closer to downtown, and then out here you have all the new the Embassy Suites that was just built, which was a great place for a staycation. My wife and I had Roof Crisp steak, and just a shout out to them, they did an excellent job, and they actually have that as part of room service for Embassy Suites. And so this is kind of a commercial for Embassy Suites. Great place to stay. Used my military discount out there. It was, I don't know, smooth, crisp. Are you kidding me? So it was really, really nice. And but all that commerce is happening out here by Hamilton Place Mall. So you do get a lot of retail and a lot of energy, offices. There's Volkswagen is out here. This is where the volunteering. We're nearby. We're approaching 15 more minutes down the road is Ottawa as we say here, and Collegedale, which is home to Little Debbie snack cakes, and Volkswagen, the new Volkswagen plant, making the facade is just right down the road here. So that's a huge boost to our local economy here. And it spurred a lot of both in the manufacturing and the retail sectors. A lot of rooftops out in this area. Now I've spun around. I'm back on Highway 153 just to get back into our travel log here. And again, you're gonna have to help me with the time. I've forgotten what time I've left, but we're 15 minutes, 18 minutes on the road here probably. And State Highway 153 kind of makes a loop. It helps make the loop between this I-75 and 24 corridor going back towards Hickson, Tennessee and the dam. And I'm getting off here at the airport. So if I lived in Lookout Valley and was flying out of Chattanooga today, this would be the route, and this would be the time it'd take to get to the airport. Now granted, there was no traffic this morning. It's a Saturday morning. However,